Well, good evening. We'll wait for a couple of people to come online and then we shall get started. Okay, so welcome to those of you online. Over the last day or two, as you can imagine, I've had a few little questions about dealing with difficult times and situations. I don't want to get into the whole election thing or Brexit thing at the moment. However, it does seem to freak a few people out at the moment. I can understand why. We've gone through this whole turmoil for so bloody long now. And then we've had this election. And a lot of people have got quite upset about it and annoyed about it. They haven't got what they wanted out of it. A lot of it's genuine concern. And I've had a load of emails, and thanks to all of you who've been sending me the questions, emails, messages about how do we cope when we have all this turmoil going on? How do we cope when there's such a mess in the world? How do we cope when people die on us? All these sort of things going on. So I thought I'd just do something to answer those questions. So if you do get any questions, by all means, send them to me either by PM. You can leave comments here. And of course, if you've got any friends with anxiety and stress who could do with some help or might find the information here useful, do tag them so they can see these as well. And there'll be a link a bit later as well, so you can find out a lot more of these little videos that we've got going on. So let's look at it objectively. What can we do to feel better when all of this stuff's going on in the world? None of us particularly wanted another election. None of us want all the hassle we've got with Brexit, no matter which side of the fence you're on. But we have to understand that going through life, there will always be problems. There'll always be negatives. There will be people who come in and out of your life. Some people will be useful. Some people will not be useful. Unfortunately, people do die on us. They do leave us. We lose pets. And I suppose the key to it all is we need to become a bit more mentally and emotionally resilient with all these hard times that go on. Now, no matter which way we look at it, if we look hard enough, we'll always find the negatives in life. There's always problems in life. There's nothing we can do about it. There's always people smashing our cars up. There's people having wars. There's politicians lying to us. Taxes are going up. Things go wrong. And then Christmas comes along and the holidays. There's always this stuff going on. Doesn't matter who you are, how good you are with dealing with your life. There's some things we just can't control. Sorry, I'm just watching. We've got a new little cat. She's having a go at the Christmas tree. Will you behave, please? So there's always this stuff going on. No matter what you do, it's there. We can't stop that unless we disappear off the planet, and you'll probably find in the next life there's just as much hassle. So we have to become more mentally resilient. We have to become more mentally stable. And the big thing that I do with all the clients that I work with is I help people to develop and control good mental states. You've got a choice. You can either feel like A or you can feel like B. B might be something that runs automatically in your mind, but if you work on A and you work at it right, you can really decide how you feel about things. So let's go through a few of them. There's 3 of them really, and the first one is, no matter what's going on in the world, if you look for negatives, you will find them. You'll always find them. There's always something. The neighbour's doing something, the kids are doing something, somebody abroad. There's always something to worry about. Now, you can't change the whole world yourself, so we have to get to the point where we look for the positives in life. And I suppose we could put this down as gratitude. Scientific studies recently have been showing that people who look for the good things in life, people who keep a gratitude journal, sort of develop different parts of the brain, things start to fire and to work and to grow, and that's really useful. So one of the tricks, one of the exercises we use with an awful lot of our anxiety clients is we teach them to keep a gratitude journal. And we say each day, sit down, take 10 minutes for yourself, take 10 minutes out of 24 hours and do something for yourself. And one of the things is sit down and write down 7 things that you're grateful for. And you might want to do this as a quick exercise, but very, very quickly, if I was to do it, I'd say, first of all, I've got a roof over my head. I've got enough food on the table. I've got enough money to keep the car on the road. I've got a car. I've got a fantastic daughter. I've got a great partner. I've got great parents. Dead easy. There's 7 things straight away. However, if you're trying to do 7 things each day, we need to dig a little deeper. So what we can do is go through each one and say, what do we get out of each one, and spend a bit of time. So if I was to say, I've got a great daughter, Emma, well, she always makes me smile. She gives me big hugs. I'd miss her like crazy if she wasn't there. We go to the park, we go walking. She's a good kid. I can dig down. She just makes me feel so good. Same with my partner. So you can go through those things, and then you can look for smaller things, and it could be, well, I've got enough food on the table. I eat a healthy diet. I've got good friends around me. I've got a decent bed to sleep in. And if we look at it as a positive view, we have got so much to be thankful for in this country and this world that it outweighs all of the negatives. Yes, there's all the problems with the NHS and the political system and everything else. However, we've got so much to be thankful for. The people around us, our pets, our houses, our cars, the local shops, the infrastructure. We've actually got quite a good system at the end of the day. So it's about sitting down and looking for the positives in everything and writing them down. And once you do that, or you keep a record of it, you constantly get your mind to look for the positives. And then you can go a bit deeper, and you could also try little exercises that look for the good things around you. You know, be thankful you've got a TV, be thankful you can go for a walk, be thankful that the sun comes up every morning. You can look at the birds, you can listen to the streams, you can look at the grass, all the colors, and just really start digging down for all of the things that we need to look at, because we do have a lot there. And with constant repetition, you know, it's nothing mind-blowing. With constant repetition, we start to do this naturally. We start to look for all the positives. You could then bump into your friend and say, what are you grateful for your friend for? Look at the clothes that she's wearing, the happy mood that she's in, how she supports you and everybody else. And it's just really, really digging deep to keep looking for the positives in life. Second thing we can do is to look for things in the past that makes us happy. So there'll be lots and lots of memories that we have. And these can be things like, we had a great birthday. I remember when my daughter was born. I've got a lovely memory of going to Bedlington Woods, Bedlington Country Park, and having a great walk. Look for all the things in life that we're grateful for in the past and the good times that we've experienced. So it might be that you've lost somebody, but if you've had an awful lot of good times with them, you need to think back about those good times, not the fact that you've lost them. And again, use your little journal, your little diary to write these down and start looking for things that are positive in the past. And then one of the things we can do is we can explore those emotions even better. So I've used this example before, but I'll do it again. My daughter Emma, I remember we used to go to a park up the road called the Pirate Park, taken down now, but we used to go up there and we used to have lots and lots of fun. So she would play pirates and princesses or whatever it was that she was going to boss me about, but I can remember the look on her face, the sparkle in her eyes, the sun shining, the wind, the trees. I can remember everything about that. And then I can think about, if I take all of those feelings and sounds and memories and I examine them, I can close my eyes and think about what color would all of those be if I had a color. So for me, I get a beautiful purple, sometimes just a blue, and I imagine that purple in my chest. And then mentally, I spin it around and around with my eyes closed, so it expands and it gets stronger and stronger. And I allow that to expand up to the top of my head and down the tips of my toes, totally take over my body. And that feeling, that one particular day at the park, can really change the state that I'm in. So if I get up and something happens, I've got a choice of either getting drawn into that problem, or I can think about that day at the Pirate Park with Emma. And we can do this with so many different things. We can do it with holidays, we can do it with birthdays, we can do it with Christmases, and we need to think back to the times that we really had that were good, rather than focus on the fact that they're gone, that they're lost. You know, we all have these problems in life, and by doing these exercises, it makes a difference. So that's a good little exercise as well. Explore that a bit more. That's something we do repeatedly for clients during the workshops, and it works very, very well. So you can just explore that. The third one you can do, now this is really relevant to what's gone on in the last couple of days, is that there's certain things out there that you can do something about, and there's certain things that you can't. So we've just had an election. BJ has just got into power. Everybody's got totally different views on him, and I'm not going to share mine here in case I get any grief. However, that guy is now working for you. Let that sink in. That guy and all these people who've been elected in, whether you agree with the system or not, have been voted in, and they now work for you. And they have a duty that if you're unhappy with the state of the NHS or the Hunting Act, social services, could be benefits, could be the state of the roads, you now need to get on and nag these people to do what they're supposed to be doing. And this is really important. You can do certain things, and there's some activists out there, some really good people who go out and change the world because they bother to get off their backsides and they do something about it. And really the key to this is you now need to focus on where you want to be instead. Focus on the future, focus on your goals. Don't focus on what's wrong, focus on what we can do to put it right. So one is we can nag these politicians to get off the backside to do something, and they've got a duty to do that. But it's also about what can we do as a community to get out there and do something different. Now, I'm very fortunate that I do a little part-time role with an organisation who get out there and help people who are dying, help the terminally ill, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job. And it's that it doesn't happen unless people get out there and actually help and get involved. And we can't just always say it's up to somebody else to put right, it's up to somebody else to do this. It all starts with us. If we start the ball rolling, we can start community groups, we can pitch in, we can help, we can do lots and lots of things. Then we're doing something that's positive. And especially for anxiety and stress, the key is you need to be doing something that's bigger than you. You might have a cause or a charity or a good focus team, whatever it is, that you can get involved to put things better. It's also the same that we've got our kids, we've got our families, and we need to put things right for them, but we have to get in and do it. We shouldn't leave all the responsibility to BJ and his friends. We really need to get on and do all of this. So try and find a purpose in life. It might be you just go and help in your local charity shop. It might be that you go out there and you start picking up litter. It might be that you organise walks for people to get a bit of social interaction going. You could start some sort of little social group up. It could be you bring people's kids together. We could be educating people. It's really about communities. Yes, we've got a whole system of politicians and money and everything else that goes with it. But at the end of the day, it all starts with us. We've got to get out there and start doing things and start making a difference. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much we nag those politicians and we get changes going, they don't always do things the right way, and they don't always do what's best for us. And the only people that can do that is you and me and the people around us. So 3 little ways that we can make things better there, just to retract them. First of all, look for the positives in life. Create a little gratitude journal. Start writing things down and just becoming aware of the things around you at the moment that make you happy, and look at them and feel good about it. Secondly, think back to the memories and things that have passed, the happy times that you've had, and you should be very grateful for those. Explore those feelings and develop them more. I might do a whole session about doing that. And then start to work on things that you can change. You can start to get out there and make a difference. Now, there is a 4th step here, and this is learn self-hypnosis. Now, you could also learn meditation, there's mindfulness, there's all sorts of things out there. One of the things I teach a lot of my clients is how to use self-hypnosis. And this is a great way for controlling mental states. And the way that we do it, we've got a very, very simple self-hypnosis track that we personalize to each person. And it's just about you learn to relax, you bring in some lovely relaxation using some of those techniques. It's really about spending a little bit of time for yourself each day. That's self-care, very, very important. And the idea is that you get into that little mode, you spend some time doing that, and then you learn some self-hypnosis. And ours is very simply that you come to a beautiful big door, there's a lovely staircase that you go down to, and there's a room in there which is your room. And this is decorated. This is decorated exactly as you like it. You can have everything that you want in there. You can come in and write questions on a whiteboard and let your mind work on them and come back the next day and the answers are there. Mine's got a little garden with a healing pool where the sun's always shining, and I can sit there in the evening with a glass of wine and just sit in the healing pool and relax and feel better. I've also got a pinball machine. I've got twin bowling lanes. There's a little bar in there. There's a meditation room. There's a lovely hammock that sits there in the swing. And I use this little practice routine, as we call it, regularly, especially as a way to get off to sleep. And this helps me just to relax and feel good. and to work out anything I need to do in my mind. And self-hypnosis is really about learning to control those mental states, going down to that little room or up or wherever you want it to be, to go into your garden or whatever it is, and just to feel wonderful. And then we anchor it by simply pressing two fingers together. And it works so nicely. And that's what we do as part of the Anxiety Freedom Program, is we teach people to do this. So we do have a choice at the end of the day. We can choose how we feel. We can choose our emotions. And to begin with, you might think, oh, I'm not sure if that's actually true. However, once you practice it, just like riding a bike, it gets easier all the time. And this is it. So you've got to remember, you might be upset about the result of BJ winning the election a couple of days ago. You might be upset at the next one and the one after that. However, you've got a lot of power. You've got a lot of choices. You've got a lot of freedom to know how you feel and what you can do. And you can get out there and start to change things. You can start community groups. You can push, because these politicians and everybody else out there have to listen to you. They have to listen to the public. And a scary little fact is that most people can't be buggered at all. That's a technical term. They can't be buggered to make these changes. They can't be bothered to get into the community and do something. I know I used to run a community group ages ago, and we had lots of people used to complain, but we had a core group of about 10 people who got in and did everything and got all these events going and helped to support people in the community for the thing we were doing at the time. You've got to decide, are you going to be the person who sits back and just whinges, or are you going to be the person who gets out there and does something? But it needs to be positive, and you need to do it as a positive view. You need to be doing everything in the positive, not saying, I want to stop this, but we want to change that, change the other. So there's 4 little tips there now that can help you to do all of this. At the end of the day, if you've got any questions, just comment below or send me a message and I'll answer those the best that I can. We're going to be running a lot more of these little Facebook Lives over the week, teaching you some skills and tips of how to do all of this. However, if you'd like to have a free strategy session, this is something that I offer. I usually do 5 a week, and this is simply where we can get on the phone for about 30 minutes. We can discuss any issue that you've got, and I'll give you a roadmap of the things that you need to do to put that right. That's totally free of charge. And during that, you can decide if you'd like to work with us privately, one-on-one. And we can do that in lots of ways. We can do that face-to-face up here in Newcastle and Northumberland. We can do an awful lot of work now over video. We do this as a regular thing. And we also have some little workshops that will restart next year as well, called the Secret Workshops. And it's just about teaching people skills to learn those. So if you'd like to be part of a strategy session, just comment strategy session and I'll send you a message after this. And again, if you've got any friends who need any help with anxiety, stress, or any other change work, you can tag them in this. And they can see these videos, and I'll also post the link to our YouTube channel, which has got lots of little videos like this, and we're adding more every week. There's lots of videos to help you to do things, so there's lots of free help and support out there from myself and loads of other people. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't get too upset about BJ winning the election and everything else, because it's your world, it's your mind. Go forward and make it positive, and we'll see you shortly. Take care.